Hi there, this is Steve.
This is Jeremy.
We're the Alabama Gamers.
Bringing you the PlayStation Drops Top 10 list for September 26, 2017.
All right. So what do we got this week?
Oh, we got a lot. This week we got 28 releases. 19 are digital only. 23 of them for PlayStation 3. 4 for Vita. 1 is a cross-buy, which means if you buy it for the PlayStation, you also get it for the Vita, and vice versa. And then we got 4 VR games coming out, and all 4 of them are exclusive to the
Yeah,
VR.
loving the way they look, too.
Yeah. So game number 1 just so happens to be Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition.
So we can already say solid buy.
Solid buy.
Yeah,
solid buy. It comes with all the DLC. It comes with all the crap that people who originally started out playing Fallout 4 had to pay along the way. Or
Pay
whatever.
and wait.
Yeah, and it's not cheap. I mean, the Game of the Year edition for Fallout 4 is $59.99. It's a digital and retail release. It's $47.99 with the Amazon pre-order special. Right? We always preach that. The rating obviously is M for mature. It's made by Bethesda, who makes everything good. The genre is an action RPG game. Description says, if you don't know what Fallout 4 is, it says Bethesda Game Studios welcome you to the world of Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is the studio's most ambitious game ever and the next generation of open world gaming. As the sole survivor of Vault 111, you enter a world destroyed by nuclear war. Only you can rebuild and determine the fate of the wasteland. And it feels like Fallout 4.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
again, solid buy right there.
Yeah, it's a single-player game, trophy support, all the good stuff.
So if you've already started on it, this is a good time to get on it.
It is a great time to get it on it, right? All right, next up, and it's not going to get cheaper anytime soon. So if you're holding out for money...
I mean, you'd have to wait till probably after Christmas or something like that. Yeah. So that's a few months if you're going to wait.
Next up is FIFA 18 for the PlayStation 4. It is a digital and retail release. Prices are $59. $79.99 for the Ronaldo edition and $99.99 for the Icon edition. However, there is a free demo that you can play for free, right? And I gotta tell you, I'm loving these free demos.
Oh yeah, gotta love it.
You know what I mean? Do you remember when PlayStation first came out and the PlayStation 2, they had the disc in the bag? If you bought PlayStation Magazine, you got a demo disc. Well, that's what it feels like, and so I'm glad that they're giving you those free demos. It's developed by EA sports game, clearly. FIFA 18 blurs the line between virtual and real worlds, bringing to life the players, teams, and atmospheres that immerse you in the emotion of the world's game. And it feels like FIFA 17.
But if you're a soccer fan, just like football, you're gonna love it. Yeah. I mean, this is the game you get if you're a soccer fan. You've already waited, you've already pre-ordered. So if you're waiting to I want to try it, try that demo, see if you like it. Yeah, get in there.
FIFA. All right. Next up is something a little more controversial than what we normally do, but it is an interesting game. Okay, and that's what we try to celebrate here. There's all kinds of different games and all kinds of genres and all kinds of subjects, right? Fragments of Him for the PlayStation 4. Fragments of Him is a digital release. There is no retail. The price is unreleased so far. It's more than likely going to be rated in for mature. The developer is SassyBot Studio. They did DJ Simulator 2017. They did Dear Stranger, and they did Small Bang Theory. It is the genre, I'm going to call it, and this is kind of a stretch, but an animated storybook. Okay, because it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure, except that you don't have any control, really. I mean, you're really kind of enjoying a ride.
Yeah.
It's going to end up in the same place.
You're getting into the story.
The description says, when a young man dies suddenly, his friends and his family are left to pick up the pieces. What were his last thoughts? What were the moments in which he changed their lives? And how will their lives be without him? So let's talk about this game a little bit. So what we have here is this fella dies and leaves like fragments of him, just like in real life when someone dies. The whole game gets you right in the feels,
so
right?
You're picking up the pieces of his life.
Absolutely. And it's all about grief and emotion, and it's what typical games will try to avoid, but then again, it's what makes some games amazing. Like The Last of Us, got you in the feels a little bit, right? Yeah. You weren't expecting it. Listen, this game has a master's degree in getting you in the feels, okay? It is legit. Now, I will say, and I probably shouldn't have to, because it's certainly not the most interesting part of this game, but it is the lead character in the story is a homosexual. Okay, and so he has a boyfriend, a partner, and then so it's about how his death affects his partner and affects all the other people in his life. And so if you have some sort of moral obligation or moral, problem with that, or religious problem with that, then, just keep on struggling. But this game is good. It looks good. I mean, it's emotional. It's really, really good. I'm really excited for it. I think we need more games that get in the feels.
So if you're interested in this game, I would say, we usually say that there's games that feel like this game or this game is... So this game is very different. So I would say if you watch the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why and you were one of the people that just love that, because it seems similar to that. So this might be something that you might be interested in checking out.
It's a game. It's a game. It's certainly a game for the LGBT community. I would really categorize it more of like an interactive movie. But I'm telling you, it's worth checking out for sure. All right, next up is something a little less. The Girl and the Robot Deluxe Edition. This is a retail game. There is no digital for this, so I'm not sure that there will be soon. I expect there to be some, but there's not. The price is $19.99. However, if you'll pre-order on Amazon, you get it for $15.99. The ratings on release, probably going to be E for everyone, maybe even up to teen, but that's about it. It's developed by Flying Carpet Games, and this is a Kickstarter game. This is a game that was made on Kickstarter, for Kickstarter, and they just now are releasing it on a physical copy.
All right, so if you support indie movies, indie games, this is where you go, guys.
Yes. The description says, The Girl and the Robot is a unique third-person action-adventure game set in a fairy tale world. You take on the role of a young girl trying to escape from a castle ruled by an evil queen. On her way, she meets a mysterious robot that can be controlled remotely, and together they encounter many challenges that test the strength of their newfound friendship. So at first, it feels very puzzly at first, right? Because you move the girl and she has to stop, and then your robot moves a little bit, and y'all work together.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a one-person co-op, right? And then I was like, hey, I was ready to disconnect, but I keep watching the trailer and I see some gameplay footage.
So it's kind of like an escort mission on some games.
No, yeah, on some parts of it. However, there is a lot of hack and slash stuff. I mean, it's really a good. However, I think the story is amazing. I think it's a really, really good story. Okay, it feels like the Iron Giant, the cartoon Iron Giant. You
That's what I was thinking looking at.
Okay,
Yeah.
But with a puzzler and some hack and slash action. Okay, all right. So check it out. Next up is Gundam Versus for the PlayStation 4. It's coming out on digital and retail. This is a long-awaited game. It's $59.99. However, of course, Amazon pre-order. $47.99 if you get it quickly. Okay, it's developed. It's rated T for teens. Developer by Bandai Namco Games America. They did the Dark Souls, the franchise. They did Tekken. They did all.
They do a lot of stuff, guys.
The genre is a mech suit fighting game, right? And it's an arcade smash hit. Gundam Versus is coming to the Americas for the first time. Built from the ground up exclusively for the PlayStation 4, and that's true. They really have redesigned almost every part of it. It looks fantastic. It really does. It feels like Gundam Versus because the first part stands on its own. A lot of people have been able to play it through the arcades or online through Steam or something like that, but it looks really, really good. And obviously it has multiplayer and trophy support. The music is cool, and then every now and then you hear some little Asian dude yell out some little Asian phrase, and I'm like, please don't take that out because it was so cool, right? All right, next up is Hob. Now remember, with 28 games this time, there are no free rides. This was a fight to pick the top 10, all right? And Hob made that fight. It's a digital game. It's $19.99, but if you're a member of PlayStation Plus, you get it for $17.99. The rating is pending. It's probably going to be E or maybe even teen for some of the action. It's made by Runic Games. Okay, they did Torchlight 1 and 2, critically acclaimed games. The genre is an action adventure. It's really a 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Okay. The description says, transform the world of Hob. Welcome to a new action adventure from Runic Games, the award-winning studio behind Torchlight 1 and 2. It's your chance. Make it home. And it feels like a vintage 3D platforming game done right. It looks good. It operates smoothly. I want to say it's running at 60 frames per second. I mean, it looks really, really good. Okay. Next up is Outcast: Second Contact. for the PlayStation 4. It's a digital release for now. However, when I looked up on Amazon, it's also coming to a retail. They just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
But Amazon kind of pulled the plug, and so Amazon, you can buy it now. The retail version is going to be out in November. Okay, it's $39.99 for the retail, and if you do the Amazon pre-order, it's $31.99. Rated T for teen. The developers are Appeal. Okay, they are a Belgian studio. They did the first Outcast, which is really this Outcast, but we'll explain that later. Says Outcast Second Contact is the complete remake of the cult title which sparked the open world adventure genre. Take off an exploration of Adelphia, an alien world as beautiful as dangerous, where your heroic journey places the fate of two worlds in your hands. And I put, it feels like Outcast, which is what they wanted, and it also feels like Uncharted, but not. So Outcast on its own is a huge game that people really, really liked. And so when they did it for the PlayStation 4, they brought it back and they really did kind of not necessarily reboot it. They kind of kept it the same as much as they could, but it looks good. I mean, they utilized the power of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Pro. It looks very, very good. And so that's it. Next up is narrowly making the cut. I'm super excited. I got to tell you that I am super excited about it. Pinball FX for PlayStation 4. It's a digital release. The price has been unreleased. The rating is pending, but it's probably likely E. The developers are Zen Studios. They have done tons
they do
of pinball. Yes, they done Marvel pinball. Mm-hmm. They did lots of Star Wars pinball games. They did South Park pinball game, which I love. They also did a couple other games, like they did Kickbeat, which is a rhythm game, a real cool rhythm game, and they did a game called Castle Storm. The genre is a pinball simulator. Pinball FX is the biggest and most community-focused pinball game ever created. Multiplayer matchups, user-generated tournaments, and league play create endless opportunity for pinball competition. And I put, it feels like pinball with LSD. I'll tell you what's great about this game, because they've got pinball games. That's been done.
Yeah.
But this one, like, let's say they're playing the Jaws game. Well, the Jaws can jump out, right? They can do things in this game that you could never actually get to happen in a real game.
Well, you got to do something like that, because, I mean, if you want to play pinball, you want the feel of that. So they've got to give you something extra.
They bet, man, yeah. You know what? And I'll tell you what. And what it looks like is that there's a basic pack, and then you can buy expansion packs. Like, one of the expansion packs is a studio. I can't remember what studio it is, but it's a studio that has Jaws and E.T. and stuff like that.
It's Universal.
Yes, Universal. And there's one more in there, but E.T. looks so good that Atari is like rolling over in their grave, right? Because probably, arguably, if you ask, a random person what the worst video game ever made is, they're going to say E.T. for Atari. All right, the game that sank Atari. But this looks really, really good. I'm telling you, it's really interesting. I'm really excited to get on it, right? Next up is another one that I'm super interested in. Ruiner for the PlayStation 4. It's a digital release. The price is unreleased. Whatever it is probably worth it, okay? Unless it's $59. Maybe $39 be better. It's rated M for mature. The developers are Reckon Games. I'm probably going to say that wrong. And you may not know them because they haven't done a lot of games, but they've worked on some of the best games. They've worked on all the Witcher games. Mm-hmm. They've worked on Dying Light. I mean, they've worked on some of the best games.
Yeah, you've seen their logo.
Yeah. So, I mean, this game looks really good. It's different. It's an action shooter. The description says, Ruiner is a brutal action shooter set in the year 2091 in the cyber metropolis Ringnock. A wired sociopath lashes out against a corrupt system to retrieve his kidnapped brother and uncover the truth under the guidance of a secretive hacker friend. Okay, and I got it. Feels like Hyper Light Drifter, but with cyberpunk elements. The game is good. I think the game, it's almost good enough to be a super franchise where it gets its own movie kind of thing, because the story is there. But it's interesting, right? It's not the best looking 4K, explosion of graphics, but it looks really interesting. Or it's certainly worth your time. All right, number 10, Voltron VR Chronicles.
Now you're speaking of my childhood.
Yes.
Have you watched the new Voltron series on Netflix? It's really good. I like it, and it's something that gets to.
Is DreamWorks doing it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. They've got 2 seasons up there. I think season 3 is coming soon. It's really great. They've reintroduced a whole new generation to these characters.
Yeah,
and the the VR, I am excited.
So it's a PSVR, only for the VR. It's not something you can play on PlayStation 4 alone outside of the VR peripherals. The price, it's $14.99. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get it for $11.99 for a limited time. It's worth $11.99. It's ready to eat for everyone. The developers are Digital Domain Interactive. Okay, so they're not typical game directors. They do extremely complicated VR stuff, right? Like, so for instance, let's say we watch the Sports Center, and they're sitting around on Sports Center, and they got two guys in a chair.
Yeah,
they're working on a thing where you could be the third guy in the chair, and you could talk to those people.
God, it's cool.
Like, they're working on next level VR stuff. So I'm super excited to see what this game has to offer.
Yeah, I cannot wait to play it because I mean,
you talk about childhood.
And it's right there. I mean, I used to watch this every day before I got on the bus.
Yeah,
I mean, it was great. And I was so excited when they brought it back. And when I heard about the VR here,
become a paladin of Voltron and experience a unique story created exclusively for VR. Join Lance, Hunk, Pidge, Keith, and Shiro from DreamWorks of Voltron, Legendary Defender, as you battle dangerous intergalactic threats. And I put it feels like a VR nostalgic experience.
Right? Oh, that's exactly what it is. Like, I'm going to buy it just for that.
Yeah. All right, next up is the honorable mention. Okay. So this is something that you can enjoy your PlayStation 4 and your VR with the little ones. VRog, right? Which is VRog Frog. Okay. It is a PlayStation VR game. It's digital release. Price is on release. The rating is likely going to be E for everyone. It's developed by Rockbot Games. They did Jailbreak. They did Jailbreak is a Switch game, by the way. They did a Scrapyard, and it's a frog simulator. So you literally put on the things, and you are a frog. You're snatching out mosquitoes and flies. You're dodging storks, right? So it's a great way to bring the family in the living room, right? Because a lot of our games are adult. Bring the family in the living room. Let them play on the VR.
Yeah, escape into that world and watch how everybody interacts.
Absolutely.
Being a frog.
Right.
Kids are going to love it.
Sometimes, the PlayStation can be an isolatory or a tool for separation. Bring the family together. Let them play VR Frog. It's probably going to be cheap. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this week. What's your top deal?
The Voltron. I'm going
Voltron?
Even though that I know we got a couple solid buys with the Feel and the Fallout, but the Voltron, the VR.
For me, Fragments of Him and Ruiner. Check out those games. All right. Until next week, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Steve.
And Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.